Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Oh man, it's a nice day out. I wanted to go into, we're going to go into this economic slavery a little bit, but I wanted to go into how we got into this state of mind in the first place. And, I remember years back, I was trying to just read anything I could get my hands on. It was helping me understand what was going on. When I came across this guy, Willie Lynch, the Willie Lynch letter. And like I said, it was a long time ago when I read that. You guys don't know how lucky you are, with the YouTube out here today, man. Because like I said, when I first started, I had no clue the earth was flat, right? And you start going into all this stuff. Let me tell you what I fall into for a long time. Because you're just trying to make sense with what you know, right? And then, like I said, it'll lead you down a ton of different roads, trying to give you explanations, And that guy Zachariah Stitchin, the whole planet Nibiru in Inky, and I fell into that for a while, man. Because at the time, with the knowledge that I had putting together, it was the only thing that was starting to make sense to me. I mean, because, like I said, once you start looking at some of the things that you can see, there's paranormal activity going on. Well, that just destroys, what happens when we die. You know what I'm saying? So the whole atheism I said atheists are dangerous, man. If that's it, you believe in evolution and natural selection, and that's it. It's just what's here while you're here. And I tell my buddy all the time, well, if that's the case, why don't you get on board with the guys that got $1 million yachts and $1 million homes? I was like, if there's no consequence for anything that you do other than what another man can catch you doing, why wouldn't you be with them? I mean, what do you care, and that's the whole thing, because for me, in evolution and atheism, I mean, being a rapist is only bad for the person being raped, right? It's not bad for the rapist. So that don't even make sense, But it led me all these different roads, and I got caught up, You guys are lucky that you can at least, especially if Flat Earth is what woke you up. At least, that weeds out a lot. Trust me, a lot. But, so Willie Lynch. Evidently, Willie Lynch was sent over here in, sometime in the 1700s to get the slave owners here. They didn't know how to manage their slaves. When a slave tried to escape and run away, they'd just hang him. And Willie Lynch, when he came over, he was like, that's just not, that just does not benefit you economically, to hang this guy, When if your horse was to run away, when you found it, you wouldn't kill it, you would bring it back because it's got work to do, right? So that's what he was trying to instill in him. But what else he instilled in him, he's like, but your horse don't run away, right? Because he's been broken. And he says, I'm going to teach you how to break these men just like you break the horse. And like I said, it had been a long time since I had read that. And so I typed into YouTube real quick, the Willie Lynch letter. Well, all these things come up on the side with black people talking about the Willie Lynch hoax. And like I said, once you get to a certain point, it's harder to be tricked. So I started, well, what are these guys saying? This is some type of hoax, so I at least want to hear what they got to say. And I start listening to them, And they're like, yeah, this ain't even real, man. That letter, that guy never gave that speech. He was born. The guy they say that gave the speech was born after the fact of the time they say that the guy presented the letter. Now you see, I told you, this is how they trap you up. And they use words too, because you trust me. And you better believe this. You can stand me, a white guy, a black guy, we're all niggers. You better believe that. And that's how they trip people up. Because when people read the Willie Lynch letter and it says nigger, they think that they're referring to African American. And not African, black people. Because if you've never been to Africa, you're not African American. You're a Native American if you were born here and you live here. So, and you go and you look into the letter, and it says right in the letter, teach your white servants and your black servants to rival with each other. Teach your servants not to trust anybody and only love and trust their masters. That's it. So you can see whether it was Willie Lynch or some Jesuit Grinch, this plan has been implemented on all of us. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they trick them. I'm watching all these black people. Oh, it's fake. It ain't even real. That never happened. It's happening to all of us, you dummies. It's happening to all of us. You don't see just black people in the factories. They got everybody up in there. So, where I'm trying to go with this, if you can't figure out what's been done to you, and I always thought a little different, I guess, all my life, I remember growing up watching movies, mafia movies and stuff like that, where everybody was scared of one guy. And I'd see a scene, and I'd be like, oh, you're in there right now, ain't no one else around, kill him. But it doesn't work that way, because when you break a man, it's the same thing with an animal. Once you break an animal, what does it do? It never goes against you again. It doesn't try to rebel. So that's why you've never seen anybody in this country, no matter how much they figure out, no one's going to rebel. That's how man's been broken, just like the horse. So, you got to figure out this stuff because, I've always liked the truth because, at least if you have the truth, you know what you're dealing with, right? So it gives you options. If you don't know the truth, you don't have no options. With the truth, you have options. Okay, I see what's happening. Now, how can I get myself out of this or make it better for myself? Because you're not going to make it better for the whole, like I said, man's been broken. You're not going to unbreak man, but you can unbreak yourself and run wild again if you want to. And that's, like I said, that's how the slave structure. Slaves been around beginning of time, since the beginning of man, slaves. There's always been slaves. And that's, if you guys are falling into this race bait that's going on through social media right now, you got to get away from that. Like I said, stand me, I'm half Arab, okay? Stand me, a white man, and a black man all together standing up. They look at us. We're all niggers. And that's why they use that word they're referring to all of us in the Willie Lynch letter. But they got you thinking that they're only referring to one people. And that's, like I said, words are powerful. And this is how they trick people up into thinking something that ain't. I mean, like I said, how can these guys stand there, especially, I live in a black community. I got lots of black friends. I know how they're thinking. How can you say that letter's fake? Like I said, it don't matter who wrote the letter. It don't matter how the letter got there. It don't matter who presented it. They're using it. That's all that matters. All right. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. You guys, look into that. Look into Willie Lynch and the Willie Lynch letter, and you can see some of the tools that they used, how to break a man. And it's like, the first thing you got to separate the man from the woman. Don't you see? I mean, look at the divorce rate, right? I mean, a lot of people just a few months ago were celebrating Mary Tyler Moore's death, and they don't realize the modern woman movement, that's the Willie Lynch program, to destroy the family and break the man and separate them and make everybody dependent on their masters. You guys got to understand this stuff, man. And that's what I want you guys to do. I'm going to give you guys a couple things that I want you to get on board with and to do a little reading real quick. It won't take you that long. The next thing I'm going to give you is a lot longer to do a little bit of reading and research, but I think it's very, very important. And I want you guys to think about this too when you're doing any type of research, man, because I wasted years because I didn't know how to research. You got to look at what happened, who were the witnesses and how they witnessed it, who was the person providing the information, because that'll tell you a lot right there, whether you want to listen to it or not, man. How many times are you going to let someone lie to you and then you're going to believe them, right? So yeah, check that letter out, man, real quick, and we'll pick it up again from there. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I don't know where you all at. Here in Detroit, Michigan, it's very, very nice. I think I'm just going to sit out here and listen to the birds for a little bit, and then we'll get back on this subject again. But yeah, do that. Go check out the Willie Lynch letter. And like I said, it's irrelevant whether some guy named Willie Lynch, because I'm telling you right now, it's some type of Jesuit. Grinch is the one that implemented this, because if you look at just the time that he had come over here, it was the birth of America. I mean, let me tell you, these guys, they know what's going to happen down the road. They knew that one day there was going to be automotive factories or an industry, and that they were going to need slaves to operate it. So, I don't even want to look farther into it. Maybe you guys might want to look farther into that, with the whole Willie Lynch story. But what they're saying is, the reason why they're saying it didn't happen is because, this guy, Willie Lynch, was born 30 years after the date that they said that he showed up in America to give the speech. All right, you guys have a great day. Thank you for your valuable time.